Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a good weekend. Jamie, good morning. Haley, good morning. How are you? We are going to carry on with our donkey today. But first, I want to check in with our marble run champion, Jamie. Well done. Well done for winning the marble run and a bit of free merch on James's channel. I saw that. Our hearts were in our mouths when you fell off the track in the first game, right near the end. I was like, ow! That was crazy. It was such fun to watch. Yeah, and West Ham won as well. I got Nick to check for me, as you've got to tell me if West Ham won. So there you go, you had a good weekend. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to work my way up here and try and join this between the two eyes. But this fur goes in all weird different directions on its head. It's weird. You were very late to James's stream, but still bought the hoodie. Oh, cool. Excellent. They are so soft, Haley. I mean, I know James called it the comfort collection, but they are so nice. And the embroidery is really nice on them as well. It's an amazing weekend. Can't believe you checked. Oh, yes. I will check. Make sure all my babies are okay. Absolutely. I had great fun watching James's stream. And the best bit for me, for anyone who's listening in and who don't know what I'm talking about, James is my son who also streams on Twitch. He's a gaming streamer, and he did a birthday subathon yesterday. And the best bit for me was when you spun the wheel and he had to do the dance challenge to You're Beautiful by One Direction. That was hilarious to me. I sat downstairs chuckling away. That was so much fun. Oh, morning, Faisal. Hey, I thought you were working. That's okay if you're just here for a few minutes. It's good to have you here. I think his subathon went quite well yesterday. I got everything prepped to do the, if he made it up to, I think is it 700 subscribers? If he made it up to 700, I'd sort of got the taste test challenge all laid out in the fridge. And I think because I've gone to the lengths to prepare it, if he doesn't make it up to 700 by the end of his hours, I'm going to suggest to him that we record it as a video anyway. Because we've prepped it, right? It's a very moving performance. Yeah, exactly. Oscar worthy, Grammy worthy. It was a good day. It was a good day. We had a lovely roast dinner cooked by Nick. Right, I need some dark chocolate in here. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I wanna take you there. Actually, no, I need the Payne's grey because there's blue in this. That will give me a better shade. Oh, thanks, Faisal. Yeah, you have a good time at work. Enjoy whatever it is that you're engineering. Thanks for joining us. I'm really nervous about this section here, by the way, because if you look at the source picture, I mean, it might look to you, I don't know how big your screens are that you're looking at this on, but it looks kind of grey here, but it's not. In the picture, it's a greyish blue. So I'm going to have to put blue on this donkey's head, which is like kind of freaking me out a little bit, but I'm going to draw what I can see. Hope that it works. I mean, brown and blue generally go together quite nicely. This sort of frosty glazed blue that's in that grey. So I'm hoping that works how I want it to work. Trust the process, right? I think I'm going to leave my black and Payne's grey there. Which bit to do next? Which bit? Can I just remove some of this? Right. I'll go in with the warm grey too as a base, just to get a base layer in there. Just trying to get this fur direction as well, just to help with that bone structure. You're definitely fully enjoying working in the high building. Definitely, I'm not afraid. uh, when I got my first ever home, that I ever lived in, when I left my parents' home, it was a flat in a multi-story block of flats. It was 21 floors, and my flat was on the top floor. So not a penthouse or anything like that. This was a council run housing area in not a particularly wealthy area of Nottingham, and the flat was on the top floor, on the 21st floor. And I can remember that they had these, this was way before like health and safety, so this is like really aging myself, but they had these windows that you could sort of lift the handle at the bottom, and then you sort of just pushed it forward like that so that the window could be horizontal to let air in. And for a long time I would not look out of the windows because of the height. And one day I just decided, right, do you know what, I've got to stop being afraid of having these windows open. And so I started deliberately making myself look outside the window and look directly down. And it takes some getting used to. Yep, it took me a while to get used to the idea that I was not going to fall out of this window. I mean, nowadays I'm sure you can't open the windows out that far, but back then, when I was, God, how old was I? I was 19 when I got my first flat. And it was not fun when the lift would break down, and the lift would break down frequently. So if I was coming back to the flat and I'd done a food shop, I would have to climb 21 flights of stairs, carrying all these heavy shopping bags. Sometimes I'd have to do a couple of trips. And that's a workout. But even despite all of that, I still kind of look back on that flat with affection, because it was like my first home, and it was nice. It was 2-bedroomed, so I was, I was spoiled, really. And I used to work literally at the bottom of this multi-story block of flats was a petrol station, and I used to work there as a, someone who sat in the kiosk and sort of took the money for petrol and things like that. So I was really sort of close to work. Right, okay, so I think I need this Payne's grey. I think I need that sharper. Nothing can stop me. The only thing I didn't like about having that flat right at the top was the fact that I really wanted to have pets, and you couldn't have pets in this in that particular building, because it wouldn't have been fair to have had, you know, a dog or a cat or anything. And my brother had a flat on the ground floor on the same estate, not the same building, but somewhere else on the estate. And so we did a flat swap. And even though he got my 2-bedroomed and I got his 1-bedroomed flat on the ground floor, I was then able to sort of get a dog, and I got a rescue dog called Flossie, who was a mix between a German Shepherd and a Border Collie. And she was the cutest dog. She had the colouring of a German Shepherd, but the build of a collie. And I got her from this dog rescue, and they said that she'd been found wandering the streets. They didn't really know how old she was, but she was the skinniest thing. Skinny. Like, I literally could have encircled my waist with both of my hands, and my fingertips would have touched. She was the skinniest thing, and I thought, right, you know what? I've always wanted to rescue a dog, and I thought, I'm going to give this dog the best life, the best life. And so I slowly started feeding her up, and she was putting on weight lovely. And then one day she was sort of lying down on the ground, sort of sleeping, and I looked at her and I thought, why are her teats sticking out like that? And I thought, she looks almost like she's going to be a nursing mother. And so I took her to the vets for a checkup, and she was pregnant. And he said, oh, I can definitely feel like 2 puppies. So congratulations, you're going to be a mama. And so I then went into preparations to sort of, you know, let me find the right blue, to get ready for this dog to have puppies. And the day came that she sort of went into labour, and it was really late at night. And so I stayed up with her to make sure that she laboured okay and that the puppies didn't get stuck or anything like that. And she had her 2 puppies. Beautiful little puppies. No problem at all. And I was like, right, job done. Good. Cleaned everything up. Made sure she was comfy. Made sure she'd got food and water in case she wanted to eat something overnight. And I went to bed. Got up the next morning, and there were 4 puppies. She'd had 2 more. And I got into such a tiz because I was like, oh my God, what if something had gone wrong overnight while I was asleep? But nothing had gone wrong, so there was no need for me to panic, but panic I did. And yeah, so then I had 4 puppies to look after. It was so hard saying goodbye to them when they needed to get new homes. So hard. I get so attached to animals. But I was in a 1-bedroom flat. There was no way I could keep all those dogs, you know. So right. Just a little bit of copper in there. That's better. That's better. Okay, so I've added in a little bit of blue here so that when we put it in here, it should hopefully blend in a little bit better. That is the thought process. Right, now which way does the fur come here? So it's comes across this way. This is quite therapeutic. Just sort of really slowly trying to get these colours right. I'm doing it in little small sections, but I'm hoping not to leave like lines in between the sections. That's my worry. So I'm trying to leave each edge kind of soft. Just need to bring that around there. And I can't do long strokes with the pencil because the fur here is just so freaking short. It's almost like stubble. Building up slowly. Payne's grey. Let's add that in. I mean, I can add further detail with the slice tool as well, which I will do. When I took Rosie for a walk this morning, it was sweltering. I know they've forecast a heat wave for the UK for this week, which I'm not looking forward to because I started to get my hoodies back out. I had to go back to a summer dress this morning. Not looking forward to a heat wave. Hey chat, I know what you can help me with. I need to come up with a anniversary present idea for Nick. It's our wedding anniversary in 2 days, on the 6th of September. And I need to think of an idea for him. I've asked him and he's very helpfully provided me with No ideas. It will be, God, how many years? A Fulham kit. Hey, actually, you're on target there. He loves Fulham. That's his team. But I can't imagine him in a Fulham kit though. It's got a nice set of legs on him, but I can't see him in a Fulham kit. No. Oh, hi Natalie. How are you? We're brainstorming anniversary present ideas. I've got to try and work out how many years it's been. Hang on. 26. Jesus. 26 years. We're old. Where did you go? Where did you come from, Joe? Tired but positive. Good. Good. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's not until the 6th of September, but I'm gonna do, because it's quite a blue. 26 is photos, apparently. Is it? Is it really? Or are you just sort of like winding me up? I mean, do I just take him out for a meal, or I don't know. I feel like when you get to 26 years, you kind of run out of gifts to give each other, you know? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Joe? Right, now I'm going to start using some of this scary blue. This comes down the centre of the face. I feel that with my dad. His birthday's on the 15th. Oh, well, happy birthday to your dad, Natalie. You're getting him a food hamper because he has too many books. Oh, I used to do that with my dad. Yeah. I always used to like getting my dad a food hamper. And then he got, in his later years, he got type 2 diabetes. And I was like, okay, I can't send him all the stuff that I normally send him. So one year I bought him one of these diabetic food hampers, thinking that he'd really appreciate that because then he could have all the stuff that he still liked and it wouldn't be too bad for him. And I was so pleased with my gift that I'd hunted it down and given him this thing. And when I saw him and said, oh, how was your hamper, Dad? Did you enjoy your hamper? And he said it was absolute insert swear word here. It tasted disgusting. I was like, oh, okay, sorry. You know when you get that thing where sometimes you want to buy a gift for someone and you're so hyped about the gift, you think it's so good, and you're so excited for them to get it, and you want to watch them open it and see the look on their faces, and then when you do, they don't react the way you want them to react, and you get that sort of, let down sort of feeling. I mean, it shouldn't be about you, should it? It should be about the person who's receiving it, but I think we all have those moments where you just really want someone to love your gift, and then they don't react the way you want them to. Soho is a nice place to buy gifts, Jamie. Unfortunately, I'm not there anymore, so no, we can't do a gift from Soho. If I'd have thought about planning ahead, though, if I'd planned ahead, I should have thought about it while I was there, shouldn't I? But I didn't, because we had other things on our minds at the time. Be there. This is so weird, putting blue on a donkey's face. Jamie, we need a name for the donkey. I need my naming committee to leap into action, please. Eddie. Eddie the donkey. I suppose he is a head. Eddie. Okay. Eddie it is. I second that motion. Because Eddie Murphy voices the donkey in Shrek. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Dope. Donkey. Okay, Eddie it is. Beat in my heart, something going on. And that's why just going to use this Payne's grey because it's quite blue. And slightly longer strokes here because the fur is just slightly longer in this middle section. I'm sort of trying to crisscross over the lines as well, just a little bit, because fur just doesn't lay in a straight line. I don't want to go too dark either, because it's quite a light section of the donkey. Jamie Fivehead. Making love with each other. That is what we are. And we rely on each other. How's your writing coming along, Jamie? Have you done any more? I had a day off from writing yesterday. I was like, no, it's James's birthday, it's Sunday, I'm not writing. I'm sort of like really close to the end as well. I think, how many words have I done? Let me just, can't remember. I am up to 44,000 words of a 50,000 word manuscript. So I'm really close to the end. I'm just at that stage where I'm just really sort of torturing my characters deliberately just to make everything go wrong for them at the end. Which is always kind of fun. But I normally do like writing the end of books because, you know, for a long time you've been juggling all these different plates and the storylines. And then at the end you have to pull everything together to sort of make it work. You've just got to remember to pick up all those threads. But I guess that's what editors are for, if I miss something. I need really, really dark brown. Yeah, about that. Wait, hang on, I've got to put my card. Okay. Procrastination gold medal goes to Jamie. I get that. Sometimes I'll do anything that will stop me from having to write. Oh, I've always been meaning to weed the garden. Oh, I must wash the car. I must plan another story, but not the one that I'm writing on. need that blue over the top just to give it a glaze. Oh, I got connections for the first time today, guys. In a long time. I did not get connections yesterday. It was so difficult. But today, I got no problem. Finally. Starts to fall. Been there before. Okay, I think I'm getting that blue glaze that I want now. So I'm quite happy about that. It's something I wasn't quite sure I'd be able to pull off, but it's there at the moment. Let's just hope I don't ruin it. Been for me too. Do, 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 do. Right, I think I'll come across here and try and join those two sections. Oh, wrong one. Warm grey 2 seems to work best as my base layer. Is it worth putting in a light glaze of blue first, just so I know the section that I'm working in? I tell you what, I did have, while I was out walking Rosie this morning, I was listening to a podcast called The Bestseller Experiment. And you guys have probably never heard of it. It's aimed at writers. And the two guys on it are Mark Stay and Mark DeVoe. And one is very much a writer, Mark Stay, and Mark DeVoe is more like a life coach sort of thing. And I haven't listened to their podcast for ages, but all the normal podcasts that I listen to, I'd heard them all, so I was looking for something different. And so I thought, oh, I know, I used to listen to Bestseller XP, let's listen to that. And all of that background to say that as I was listening to this podcast, I had an idea for, it was just something, the guy being interviewed, I think it was Jeremy Zal, who's a science fiction author. While he was being interviewed, he said something. I can't even remember what the exact words that he said, but it gave me an idea for a dark fantasy story, like a dark adult fantasy. Something along the lines of more grimdark, sort of like Lord of the Rings stuff, but with a bit more grimness to it. And I just had this idea for it, and I thought, because for ages and ages, James has been saying to me, Mum, you need to write that book that you keep saying that you're always going to write. It's either fantasy or horror. You need to do it. You keep saying you're going to do it, and you never do it. And then I had an idea this morning. So I'm like, I had an idea for characters and a vague idea of the plot, but I think it's going to need a lot more thinking about. So I'm going to have to get the old Scrivener app out and start writing notes and ideas and start gathering the information and see where it takes me. Sounds good. Well, I have a main character and a vague idea of a plot, so it's not that good yet, Natalie. But I thank you for your faith in me. I'm reading a really good book at the moment. I'm reading The Fourth Wing, about it's a fantasy story with dragons, right up my strata. Who's it by? Rebecca Yarros. I think my eyesight is saying to me, looking at the book from across the room. Rebecca Yarros, I think it is. Right, out. I mean, who knows what I'll do with the idea. Might just end up as a little random file on my computer and then gets forgotten again, but I was quite excited about it when I thought about it, so who knows. So this fur comes this way. It goes up. Yeah, I write as well, Natalie. That's my day job. I write romance books for Mills and Boon. Okay. So the first thing I ever had published was a letter in my local paper. When I was a little girl in Nottingham, I had a letter in the Evening Post. I can't even remember what the letter was about, but it was on their letters page, and I can remember being so thrilled at seeing my name in a paper. And then the first thing that ever got accepted by a publisher was a short story that went into an anthology, so a book of short stories. And it was the typical thing you write about as a kid, but with a little bit of a twist. I wrote about I wrote a story from the point of view of a kitten that had been dumped with its litter mates in a bin liner and thrown into a river. And I was very always into trying to raise the awareness of animal cruelty and hated people who were cruel to animals in any way, shape or form. And so I wrote about this kitten that got thrown into a river with its litter mates, and it was the only one that escaped. But this river, here comes the dark twist. This river had lots of biological stuff pumped into it from a local science centre, so lots of chemicals in this water, sort of radioactive things. And so of course this kitten somehow gets this like super strength from the water, as the only one that survived, and took some water into its lungs, and it decides to get its own back on the person that dumped it. And so it, with its super senses, it tracks its way back to the house of this guy that chucked them in the river, and waits for a window to be left open, and sort of sneaks into the house and sort of hides in the house. And then when the guy gets up in the middle of the night to go for a wee, it deliberately trips the guy up at the top of the stairs, so he goes flying down the stairs and breaks his neck. And then this kitten just sort of pads down the stairs and sits on the guy's chest waiting for his breathing to stop, which it does. And then it sort of licks its paws, washes its face, and disappears. So the general happy cheery lovely stories that you'd expect from a 13-year-old girl to write. I've been reading a lot of Stephen King by then. I mean, come on, I was influenced. Oh, Richard Adams style. But you know, it got published, so. Yeah, happy lets me go back to the high building. It seems nicer. Yeah, sorry. I did warn you guys that I have a little dark and twisty side. I wish I remember what the title was of it. I can't remember what the title was. This brown and this blue is mixing quite nicely. All summer long. I'm trying to create not just the colour, I'm trying to create the texture on here as well, which is just the challenge, which is why I'm taking my time with that. This nice little natural crease parting here. Does it need anything else? I think just a little bit of some grey over the top. Put it on that side too. Right, okay, let's try and use this slice tool and just see if I can get a little bit of texture. This just helps to add some of the texture as well. Just scraping away some of the colour. I think it might need a few more layers of colours because it's not scraping away the colour as I would like. That's okay, you can come back to it later. So, right, okay. What next? I think this needs to come into here, doesn't it, to feed into this. Right, this goes. Just needs to feed in a little bit here, just so that there's not such a stark line. Okay. I'll have some of that blue fur coming in over this brown, where there's a sort of eye socket here. Right, okay. I think that's a good stopping point for today. So we've managed to join up those two eyes. And even though there's blue there, it doesn't look strange. So I'm quite happy about that because I was a little bit worried. But there we go. So yes, so there we go. So that's it for today then, people. Thank you so much for joining me. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Enjoy the rest of James's birthday stream when he goes on again later on today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So take care, look after yourselves, do something